Welcome back. In this video, I want to honor the memory of my beloved sister Marisa. One day after her 75th birthday, she was born on October 6th, 1950, and I want to remember my sister in this video. I couldn't let the day go by without honoring my beloved sister on what would have been her 75th birthday, yesterday, October 6th. I hope she's surrounded by peace and love and joy in a new world, free from all pain. My heart still aches with missing her, more than words could ever truly say. In this video, I want to share a powerful and heartfelt article I came across by chance just last night. It was written just after a close friend of her, a professor, got the tragic news of her passing on 28 March 2020. Here is the article. And what? Do poets die too? And do they die just like any other person? Sadly, without even a greeting, a word. And do they die even this great time of sorrow and death, when one of their poems could restore the world to life, color, the sky blackened with dust and mud? Do they also die in their sleep, holding back the words in their chest that were about to lighten? The weeping of bereaved reopened the sealed lips of a people and the locked windows of their homes with smiles. No, it's not possible. It can't be like this. Marisa was a woman full of life, of kisses, hugs, caresses, and smiles, which she scattered with that physicality that starts from a luminous sky blue eyes to one she loved or who needed it from her. To think that she could die soon, and in the beating of a sigh, while her city falls silent in the night, is a logical absurdity. Yet it happened. The news which seemed to circulate as one of the many false rumors, a short-lived nightmare, a bad taste joke, a threat reflecting today's fear, is unfortunately true. Local newspaper and news agencies reported it among the first this crucial Saturday for the fate of the coronavirus. The real strong and sincere pain arises in our community as the tragic event passes from mouth to mouth, from chat to chat, from phone to phone. The private mourning becomes collective. Catanzaro, her city, so loved by her that she dedicated many of her literary endeavors, and that healthy sense of identity to it should ideally drape its banner in black. She made sure to say, wherever she went, that she was one of us, that she belonged to this place, of which she knew also because she had lived almost always in the city center. All the cobblestone and the stone over the walls, as she loved to say with a dialect, confirming the history of her father and her insistent identification with the city. She, a scholar, a lover of the Italian language, when she got a little angry or wanted to downplay some unpleasantness, overcome sterile controversy of light in a situation, spoke strict Catanzaro dialect, a few lines accompanied by a classic laugh, and away the conventional, all good became a new scene of her friendship and good neighborliness. Marisa was like that, a special person, genuine, sincere, and not at all hypocritical. If she felt she had made a mistake due to distraction or tiredness towards someone, she was very sorry and did not hesitate to apologize. It is about this person and her soul which I touched with my own that I want to speak today. Accredited critics and true poets like a fraternal friend Franco Brescia, when he was freed himself from the weeping that has been invading him since this morning, or like the great Calabrian in Milan, Ottavio Rossani, a poet himself, who promised me to delve into part of her poetry and talk about it in his assemblies, will speak of the refined poet and the profound woman of her letters. Certainly the city administration will speak of her, celebrating her worthily when everything is restored to normal. I will only say she would surely allow me that a poetry beyond the classical modern canons she used, and that didactic form with a strong romantic echo in is social poetry, also political in a broad sense. Political not intended as the externalization of a partisan thought or ideology in which a writing was never interested, but as the promotion of a culture, and through it of a new consciousness that would lead more and more people to look with their own eyes and feel with their own heart the reality in which they live. To radically change it, or at least improve it, as should happen for Catanzaro, still to suffering even due to the continuous impoverishment of its beauty. Poetry can change both people and places. It can especially change men, as a man who approaches woman with the ignorance that clothes him in arrogance and aggression, even before the violence is spoken of in the news or the silent rooms of the many women abused and violated in body and dignity. Marisa made this sensitization one of her insistent, courageous, and gentle social battle, one of the most beautiful scenes in favor of women and personal freedom, not only in Calabria. She was a poetess by instinct and vocation. She was also driven by passion. This came forcefully from the word. Marisa loved the word. She studied it in depth, always seeking not only the different meaning that our language widely offers, but the imposing force contained within it beyond its very etymological meaning. She loved the word, but even more the Italian language, a quasi-scientific system that she knew how to care for and employ magnificently. She respected, almost moved those who could not know the Italian language due to necessity of earning a living, or because they were prevented from studying by the structural and social conditions in which they lived. She could not, however, tolerate the professional ignorant, the donkey, to be clear, those who did not want to study and do not study, those who use their ignorance as a weapon of assault for their stupidity and presumption, or as an alibi for their inability to appreciate beauty and understand the suffering of the least fortunate. Those, in essence, who, especially if they are graduates and professional, deface the language, force the syntax, offend the grammar, or rip up the dictionary when they use a word with a meaning different from the one it possesses. All this unwillingness to compromise Marisa manifested, however, with gentleness and irony, never with malice, of which she, as a woman and poet, was truly incapable. Her sharp intelligence, among other things, made this expressive lightness more entertaining and pointed. She enjoyed pointing out culture atrocity, downplaying and correcting. Her latest game, without offending anyone, was just 3 days ago when she published a long list of syntactic and grammatical errors, morphological ones, I would say too, on her Facebook profile. On one side, the incorrect expression, on the other, the correct one. In short, she who had never truly descended from a chair as an Italian teacher, warned by teaching. Her irony stopped short before human dramas and people's pain, especially that of the disinherited and lonely people. In this day of the virus war, she thought moved to tears of the elderly who die alone. With those tears, she wrote a brief exhortation to life, published somewhere, certainly on her Facebook profile page, and which I asked this newspaper to repropose. It is brief, and it is pure poetry, and almost a scenic narration of what is happening these days to the elderly, forced by the rule into a double solitude and the risk for many of a double death. That of ceasing to life due to the various complications related to disease that easily spreads in those hardened lungs, and that of dying without a family caress that was not the pitying gaze of those who care for them. Marisa speaks of it with a feeling of pity and also with full compassion, placing herself not in the shoes of those people, but she, a woman who care about her eternal youth, beside them, elderly among the elderly, to reject with vibrant indignation the idea increasingly widespread in this hedonistic society, according to which those who have passed a certain age should be considered old and nothing more, almost heavy encumbrances who take up a lot of space even in cemeteries, useless beings who have lost the human stigma. How much greatness there is in this thought of hers, so much that it makes you cry when her vibrant words enter your chest like a warming flow to your veins like an incentive to make yourself old, whatever your age may be. And when they enter your heart to become a prayer, the one she surely listened to yesterday evening from the voice of Pope Francis, truly the Holy Father of this world that has been fatherless for too long. Who knows what beautiful poem from her hands we would have read today. Perhaps it was not for us. She would have already taken it to the angels who will read it to us tomorrow. The author of this article is talking about a heartbreaking post my sister posted on her Facebook page on March 22, just 1 week of her passing, and the post was titled Painful Reflections. I made a rough translation of this reflection into English and recorded a video. It was really heartbreaking piece. My sister decided, it was the last thing that she did. Thank you so much, Marisa. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.